buddy. Welcome back to another gorgeous day here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. We are on a 150-acre first-generation farm project here in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Carolina. I do videos on everything, farm-related, large property-related, security-related. Before we go any further with today's video, guys, a huge shout-out to today's day sponsor, Anona Aurora Security. This is the Anona Aurora security camera and the solar panel so that it charges itself. You don't ever have to worry about it. Super awesome. We'll give you a little bit more information. We're going to install this one real quick right by my gate. We got one at the house and we got one in the chicken coop. The Anona Aurora security camera has crystal clear 4K video quality. The 4K HD quality with 8x zoom, color night vision, and f1.2 aperture for better low light performance. The camera features power forever, no wires, plug in and play, water and dust resistant to withstand any weather condition and connectivity. Built-in 10,000 milliamp battery and solar panel for endless operation. The camera boasts local 32 gigabyte eMMC storage for 6 months of footage. No monthly fees with lightning fast Wi-Fi 6-speed gives you high quality audio and video reliability. Anona Security offers cloud plans if you'd like to upgrade your security camera. The Anona Aurora has 24/7 always-on video technology for uninterrupted recording so you can watch pets, kids, and/or your garden. It also boasts two-way audio, spotlight, and siren features with customized motion zones. The Aurora is smart home compatible and works with Google Assistant and Alexa. It's super easy to use and has no wires.
Kitties! Hey, doggies! Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hi, Bob. Hi, Bob.
Guys, be sure you check the link down in the video description for the early bird discount, and a big shout out to Anona Security for sponsoring today's video. Let's go get back to work. This is for the person who's thinking about getting themselves a sawmill. And I have a Wood-Mizer sawmill because Wood-Mizer means quality. They're the ones that got this all started, the whole portable sawmill craze. I've got a friend of mine that has a Wood-Mizer sawmill, has over 5,000 hours on that thing. That really speaks volumes. This thing is made to last and it holds its value. So we're gonna get right into this. This might be used by someone who's trying to get a sawmill. So show this to your wife, show this to your husband if you're thinking about getting a sawmill. I will give you this one statement. I have a good friend, his name is Eustace Conway. He's on the Mountain Man TV show on the History Channel. He's a great guy. He told me a portable sawmill is the very best wedding gift anybody could receive because it teaches you how to work together, how to communicate, how to think on your toes, and it gets you outside together. So think about that if you're a wife or a husband that doesn't want to get one of these. Let's go walk around the mill. Have you been missing me? Yes, sir, you have. What a good boy. You've been over there laying down. It's so good. Oh, man. That's Buddy, by the way. Quick walk around. This is called the Wood-Mizer LT40 hydraulic sawmill. This is the wide version. It's supposed to take up to a 36-inch log, 36 inches in diameter. I think the real specs are around 34.9 or something like that. This thing has jacks on it. This is a jack right here. There is a jack there, a jack there. As we continue to walk around, we'll show you the other jacks. Another jack there, another jack there. We have hydraulic rollers on this, and all this is gonna make sense in just a minute. Got a roller there and a roller there. Those move up and down. We have an arm right here. This arm raises and lowers, and we're gonna show you all this in operation. This is our control panel. Isn't that cool? So not only does that motor run the saw head, which is the portion you're getting ready to see raise up, but it also runs the hydraulic system, which is right here. Let me show you. So there are various hydraulic levers that control everything to do with this sawmill, from the log lift over there to the raising and lowering of those rollers to keep your log even, to raising and lowering the dogs, which are up here on the side. This is our blade tensioner. We want our blade tension to be between 2,800 and 3,000 PSI. All we do, tighten this guy up. And that's something you have to watch all the time. We're gonna start the blade and move the head back. The switch right here starts the blade. Now, what you really need to know is what the heck does it take to run a sawmill? Well, it's pretty simple. You've got a 38 horsepower Kohler Command Pro engine right here. This Wood-Mizer LT40 is, well, we'll talk about pricing in a second and what you need to get for your property. So some of the wear items that you're gonna experience in a Wood-Mizer sawmill or any sawmill is going to be, or consumables, is going to be your lubricant. This is called the Lube-Mizer. It's an automatic lubricating system. Whenever this thing is engaged to go forward, this thing is pumping, and it can either pump continuous or it can pump in a pulse. That helps to lubricate your wood as it goes through the blade on the sawmill right here. And here is the sawmill blade, okay? It's a little bit rusty and crusty right now because I was not smart and I left my sawmill out in the weather. That's why you see rust. And that's why I have a maintenance issue right now, because I burned a motor up because I let it sit outside. Note to self, don't let it sit outside. Now we've got a few cool little features that I want you guys to know about. These covers right here cover up the sawmill blade. You typically will buy a case or 2 or 3 of blades, and you need to consult whichever local sawmill place you decide to buy your sawmill from, or just call Wood-Mizer and they'll tell you what kind of blades you need for what type of wood. Super easy, right? Other consumables that might be, so your consumable is your blade here. This is the Lube-Mizer, this is the water system, and I can see that this line is split. It is not good to keep it out in the weather, in the sun. I've got to replace that line. I've got to replace that motor right there because I let things burn up and didn't do what I was supposed to do. In the wintertime, you need to run washer fluid so it doesn't freeze. That's super important. You can run just soapy water in the summertime, but you need to run windshield washer fluid so that it doesn't freeze and cause everything to bust or bust your pump in there. You also need to turn it off right here. There's a filter right there. And this is a consumable item. This will wear and it will need to be replaced. It's cracked a little bit right now. You can see that is another consumable. Another consumable is our fuel. I always run non-ethanol fuel. This is our fuel tank. We don't fill above that level right there, or it can go back into the fuel recirc system and cause problems. Ask me how I know. If I've messed up, I'm gonna let you guys know. Now, do you need to buy a portable sawmill on wheels like this? Let me talk to you. The answer is, if you're doing this strictly for your own property, no, no, no. Don't waste your money buying the sawmill with wheels on it if you're not going to do mobile sawmilling, if you're not going to make a living at it. However, if you think one day you may do that, and one day, this is a lifetime purchase, guys. This is something you're going to buy for a lifetime. One day you may end up coming on hard times, or you may want to do this for a living in your retirement years or right now. So the LT40 has been super awesome. There's a computer on board here that's something that's really important. It makes life a whole lot easier for you. It automates a few things. Let me show you. So this is as simple as it gets. It's called Simple Set. Simple Set basically allows me to adjust the size and set a manual size for my lumber. So if we click right here, set speed 1 right there. Okay. Inches, English, set speed 1. Set speed 2. We can hit that button and go back to manual right there. So our Simple Set, once we fire it up and once we run the sawmill for a minute, we can set it to go down and cut exactly the same size all the time. So if you're doing 1-bys for like siding, or if you're doing 2x4s, 2x6s, whatever, you can do that. All you do is set the Simple Set and then tap that dude right there. Just tap, and that's all you have to do. It goes back down. So we raise it up, we cut through, We raise it up, we bring it back, we tap it down, it goes down the exact amount we need it to go, and it cuts and cuts and cuts, and you can set 2 different settings on this. Very, very cool. This is fairly protected from the weather. However, it is pretty robust and it will hold up to the weather. The paint holds up very well to the weather. And I've been very, very happy with the Wood-Mizer product. This is your sawdust chute. I get a lot of questions about sawdust. What do you do with all that sawdust? This is a very, very tiny blade, guys. This is only taking about a 1/16 of an inch out every time it cuts. It's not going to produce a gigantic pile of sawdust. It's just not going to do it. That's important to know because people bank on the sawdust. They think they can sell the sawdust. It's so fine and it mildews and molds really, really quickly. So it's wet. If you're cutting lumber, it's wet typically, and you won't be able to use that sawdust. I just want you to know it's wet. Why is it wet? Because it's wet lumber and the blade is being lubricated by the Wood-Mizer. Make sense? This is called the Debarker. Let's show you. As I pull the Debarker over here, this is a carbide tipped blade that cuts through the bark of the tree. Okay, we've got to think about this. We save the blade here by using the carbide tipped blade right here. This chips off the bark and then this blade hits it. The dirt and the toughest part of the tree and the most damaging part to your blade is on the outside edge of the tree. Now, this is not an all-in sawmill video. This doesn't tell you every single thing you need to know about a sawmill. I will say that this sawmill comes in at about $40,000. That is a huge pill to swallow. Now, you can run it and make $1,400, $1,200, $2,000 a day if you want to, and you can pay for it really, really quickly. Or you can bring it and use it on your farm to build barns and save your money because you got the trees over here. Why not cut them and make the lumber? Now that's a little bit of the science behind owning a sawmill. The maintenance items, simple. Oil changes, keep everything lubricated, keep our rails lubricated, keep it out of the weather. Check your oil and check your air filter because you're putting out a whole lot of dust, guys. Wear your hearing protection, and if you decide to get a Wood-Mizer like this that you can tow behind a vehicle, be sure you pay attention to what you're doing because it's heavy. All right, it's really, really heavy. This one has its own brake system. It's a really, really nice unit, around 40,000 bucks, but you can get into a nice Wood-Mizer sawmill and build yourself a sawmill shed all the way around it for probably under 20,000 bucks. If you really look, you can find these used on Marketplace, or we got ours at Wood-Mizer of the Carolinas. Guys, that's what you need to know about buying a sawmill. If you decide you want to get one, the consumables, again, that container is going to dry rot eventually. If you leave it all out in the sun all the time, things are going to dry rot and things are going to rust. The blades, you're going to have to replace. Probably, if you run the sawmill for 8 hours and you're cutting pine, you're probably going to have to replace your blade 4 times. If you're running oak, you're probably going to have to replace your blade every 2 hours or so, something like that, 1 or 2 hours. It's just interesting to run. This is super fun. I enjoy it. I really love having a sawmill. It's been a pleasure. And guys, stay tuned. We're going to have lots of sawmill videos. If you have any questions whatsoever, please post them down there. Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining me today for a little sawmill warm-up video because we're going to get in the woods. I had to make sure this thing is ready to go so we can mill up a big old pile of logs we just cut. See you next time on the Stoney Ridge. Woo! Hi, I am a crappy camera mount. Please be unlocked. It's locked. Too bright. That's better. Now it's really, really lit up under my chin and it's very, very unnatural. So let's just send her to the moon. Get up there, boy.